Hey everyone, Elisa with Jots Designs, and today I want to show you something a little bit different. Instead of showing you how I create some of my art, I want to show you how I photograph my art. So you don't need a fancy camera or special lighting to get good photos of your work. And I want to show you how simple it can be to get good photos using just your cell phone and any available light that you have. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give the video a thumbs up and stick around for my tips and tricks, and hopefully I can help you improve the images that you take of your work. Okay, if you don't already know, I am a photographer and I do have a DSLR camera and awesome lenses and studio lighting setups. But honestly, probably like 95% of the time you see an image of my work, I probably took it with my cell phone. And I generally only use my big camera for like my product images that I use on my website, and it's really just to keep the settings and the lighting consistent, and maybe for some close-up shots that I'd enlarge for prints. And nowadays, everyone has a smartphone, which means they have a camera, and to quote Chase Jarvis, who's a well-known photographer, the best camera is the one that's with you. And that's so true. You don't need a fancy DSLR camera or special lighting or anything else that you probably don't already have. All you need is your art, your camera, and your light. If you don't have your art, you don't have anything to take a picture of. If you don't have your camera, you don't have something to take the picture with. If you don't have light, then you can't see your art. It kind of defeats the purpose. Okay, so again, yeah, you don't need the special lighting or setups or a light box or anything you probably don't already have. You just need enough light for your camera to see. Use the light that's available to you at the time you take your picture. And this can be anything from the sun, an overcast sky, a ceiling light, a lamp, candle, flashlight. And of course, there's a lot more you can learn about how to use light and the different kinds of light. But that's not what I'm here to teach you. I'm here just to show you how you can get a good picture, and it's pretty simple, with what you already have. Okay, so I'm going to switch cameras and I'm going to just start using my phone, and then that way you get a direct point of view and actually see how simple it can be. And what I'm going to show you is how you can take those three things, your art, your camera, and your light, and move one, two, or all three of them to get a good photo. So let me switch the cameras and I'll take you down here. I've got a larger piece and just a smaller piece to show you with the ceiling light and a lamp. And since it's daytime, maybe some window lights. And then I'll take you outside and give you some examples in the sunlight and also in the shade, okay? Okay, so I've got my, my camera on my phone going, and got my three things. Got the art, got the camera, and got my light source, which is my ceiling light, which you can clearly see right here. And if I expose for it, you know, you can tell what it is. It's got two lights, it's got square shade, but there's also this halo around it. And that halo is because the lights, since it's so close to the ceiling, it's reflecting everything off the ceiling as well. So the ceiling is white, so it's giving it this white glowy halo. But if I were to take a picture, you know, you lose all that detail, you see that, it's really distracting. Your eye gets drawn to the brightest area of an image. So the best thing to do is take it off your piece. Now to do that, you basically move one of your three things. If I had just poured this and I didn't want to disturb it, I wouldn't move that. Since the ceiling's in the light, I can't, since the light is in the ceiling, I can't move that either. So I'm going to move my phone. So if I just take a step to the right and turn my camera, you can see that the light came off the edge and it is now just a highlight along the edge. If I move down, the light moves with it and so forth. But I can now come in and get details of this corner, and I can see, if it will focus, I can see the whole piece. Now definitely keep in mind your surroundings, because as you can see here, I now have this bright highlight and it's daylight and the sun is on that side of the house right now, so it's hitting that window straight on. So it's causing its own light source basically. So to get rid of that, I can move my camera up and you see it going away, and I can also tilt down and it's out of frame. And then if I'm even moved towards it, now you can see the highlight is on the edge though. So it's the exact same thing, just depends on what your light source is, where it is, and where you move. If I wanted to, if this is cured, obviously, so if it's cured and I wanted to get a full-on shot of it, and I needed to use the ceiling light as my light source, I would just grab the piece and tilt it towards me so the light moves up to the top and it's off the edge, and there you go. And then behind me though, if you can see that white line coming up now, that's the trim on my closet behind me, and then you can definitely see me as well. So I would just make sure that I'm tilting it down to get that line off of there, just about there. And then it doesn't bring the ceiling light on much at all, and I got my shot. And I would prop it up on something and wouldn't have to hand hold it, and then I could move my camera as I needed to once I could actually see straight on. So yeah, you can move around your piece. You know, I move around and now the light is off to that side and I can get detailed shots over here if I need to. I could, of course, move my piece and turn it around to get better angles. You know, if I wanted to get good shots of this, but obviously that's on the other side of the piece and it's a little further away from me, I can turn the piece around and there you go. Just move that light off. Let me show you with a lamp here. Now, as I mentioned, with the ceiling light reflecting off of the ceiling, it created a much larger light source than just this single light bulb, which I use white daylight or daylight bulbs, LED bulbs. There we go. And so they don't get hot, but I like the color of the daylight bulbs because it's more natural for me, and I tend to go towards blue tones more than yellows anyways. But with a smaller light source like this, you can definitely come in and there's a lot of sparkle in here. So I can move my light and capture that sparkle. See, now it's coming into the photo, but it is off to the side. So if I just move it out just a little bit, that sparkle doesn't change that much from seeing it to not seeing it. And then if I move it up, try to keep it out of frame there, move it back towards me, move it up towards the ceiling, move it towards my head. You know, you can move any which direction you need to. If you have a lamp, you can put it wherever you need to. And that picks up the sparkle more because it's a smaller light source, which gives it harsher light. And that's why a lot of people really like using the sun, because even though the sun is a massive star, it is so far away that it makes it a really teeny tiny bright light source. And then also I wanted to show you a couple things here. So this is just a, let me hold my phone a little different so I can make sure I can focus on this. Maybe if I can hold my phone properly. Okay, so this is a Petri, and it has so much depth to it. I don't know if you are familiar with Petris, but you can see that the little pieces come up into the resin. So it's a pretty thick piece, and it gives it a lot of depth. And so having one light source can make those shadows a little bit more dramatic and help you showcase that depth. So again, same thing, I don't want it on the piece, so if I just tilt it away from the light, I see that. Now you can see a little reflection of the cord that's attached to my phone, and that's just, or actually it might be my phone case. But again, you know, just watch what's happening. If I wanted to get rid of that, I might turn away from the light a little bit and make sure that light's off to the side, and then I'll move my camera off to the side and adjust the piece as needed. And now the highlight of the light is off to the side, my camera's not showing anymore. I'd prop this on something if I could, or if it's just down here. See, so now, sorry, you can see my hand moving in there. So I just want to make sure that's pulled away. I can move my phone just a little bit. I see it right in here. So if I come back just a little bit, that'll move that down. That highlights up there. Then I can come in closer, and I don't have any of those reflections now. And I can definitely showcase the depth of it. And then also, I know a lot of people love using the mirror on gold, and especially taking it out in the sunlight and basically doing this. And that's great. That shows it wonderfully. But you have this bright distracting light in there. Your eye is drawn to that light and it gets really distracting and actually takes away from looking at the piece. So what I would do in this case, and using just a lamp or the sun, whatever light source, I'd kind of move it off to the side. I typically actually always try to make my light on the side of the piece because it'll just automatically put that highlight on the side. So let me get this to where that white's not blowing out so much. There we go. Okay, so right now you can see that highlight moving up and down the right side of the piece. So if I bring that down to the corner and then start tilting, let me get this exposed right, there we go. And then I start tilting it to the right and left. So see how down in the bottom corner here by my pinky, that's where the highlight of the light is. But as I move it back, you can see all that gold reflecting without having to have such a distracting light source on it. And even if I did pull it up just a little bit, I'd keep it off to the side. So that way it's not right in the middle of your piece. Okay, so that's two of the light sources I have available in here. The other one would be the window light, obviously. And then I have these massive LEDs, one on either side. And really it's just to illuminate my workspace more than anything, but I definitely have them off to the side. So that way when I'm working, those highlights are automatically there and I don't have to deal with glares when I'm actually pouring something. So that really helps, just moving your light off to the side. So anyways, I am going to grab another piece, just a smaller piece that's easier to hold, and take it outside and get some sun on it and show you some shade options as well, and see you in a minute. Okay guys, so I grabbed a different piece and brought it outside. I grabbed this one specifically because it's got some holographic glitter in it that's easy to catch in the sunlight. So I'll show you that here in a minute. But right now I am standing in the shade of my house. Don't mind my beyond needing mowed lawn out here, but there's sun out there, so I'll show you the sun. But I'm in the shade to kind of mimic a overcast day-ish. It would definitely be a bit darker than this, but your camera would adjust for it anyways. So what I would do is, if possible, like my house is a darker blue color, so it gives it that basically a dark shadow, a big dark area that I can point it to, because right now you can see the roof line in the piece, and the darker shadow of the house actually makes the piece look better, where the lighter side of the sky gives it kind of a muted look, and you don't catch all the detail as much as you do on the right hand side. Because if I switch this around, sorry, see now you see all that detail over there on the right side, and I'm losing it on the left side, especially when you see the clouds in there, and then you can also see like bushes back there, so watch out for the tree lines and whatnot. But basically what I would do is point the piece towards the large shadow area, and then that allows me to get all the fine details without making without the light of the sky making it muted and things like that. Okay, so if I had a larger piece, and I had to prop it up on something, I would maybe grab some chairs that I could rest it on, but be able to angle it. See, like right now, you can actually see the ladder in the reflection. So you'd want to make sure that however you have it propped up and whatnot, you can angle it maybe up a little bit. And now that window's popping in, so I just angle it towards me a little bit more. And now I don't see that. So you want to be able to adjust where you have anything propped up on something, or you can move your chairs to wherever would give you the best results of pointing it towards a dark area. And if the sun is out, you can still point it towards a light colored house, because in the shade of that house, it's going to be a lot darker than if the sun was out. And I actually see that the sun went right behind the clouds, so I'm going to give that a few minutes and step out there, and I'll show you how I take care of images in the direct sunlight. Okay, so the sun came back out. So what I'm going to do is basically just step out far enough that the piece itself is in the sun, and that's all I need to do. So if you're propping something up, bring the chairs out, but you just need it just in the sun. And then, so like the sun is directly on the piece right now, and it's a small point because the sun is a small light, but that can be distracting, and it can also give you lens flare. I don't know if you can see that happening, but there's a little green ball and a couple other floaters in there that are lens flare from that sun pointing directly back into the lens. So all you need to do is tilt your piece until it comes off the edge, and automatically that helps the whole entire piece. And then if you want to showcase off the glitter, you can move it up and down and keep that light right on the edge, or bring it, depending on if you're holding it, whatever's easier, tilt it towards you a little bit, and you can move it sideways, or bring that light all the way down to the bottom, and then you can move it sideways again. And all that glitter is sparkling, and you're not kind of distracting from your piece by having that sunlight right in the middle and going across it. Anyways, guys, I hope that helps, and you're able to take the pictures you want of your work. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'm happy to help. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next week.